I'm in a game. I'm in a game. Hello, I'm in the video with my daddy.
What's going on, everybody? So this week we're gonna have hobby time with Papadan. He is a pretty cool modeler. Does a bunch of different stuff on his channel, and we'll get into that in the episode. But on a side note, so the Ukraine thing is going on. So this flag up here in the top right corner is how I'm going to show my support. It's going to be till this is all over. That's going to be in the corner. That's kind of how I'm going to do it going forward. So I will see you guys in a minute. What's going on, dude?
Hey, what's happening?
So you just chilling out on a Saturday? Big plans or?
Nah, just chilling, watching my daughter's dog again.
Oh, that's awesome. So I'm going to bring up how I first found you.
Okay.
The purple, what is it, the Blue Smurf Award?
Yeah. Boy, that was a long time ago.
Right? That's how I was introduced to your channel.
That is funny. That is funny. That was a friend of ours who made the mistake of showing Tommy and myself this picture of himself when he tried to decant a can of spray paint, and he didn't gas it out first. He just took a screwdriver and a hammer, I guess, and something, and then just smacked it. Well, it blew up on him, and he was just literally covered head to toe with blue paint.
Yeah, no, it is hilarious.
It was very funny. So we go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. But I was gonna say that was the most unique way to get introduced to a channel. I'm not gonna lie. And then I went down the archives, and you're a big Gundam guy, right?
I was for quite a while. Yes, my grandson and I built them.
So do you know much about them, or you just like building them?
I just like building them. I don't really follow the TV shows that much because I don't like subtitled movies. I
agree.
I'm too lazy to read the subtitles, and I can't keep up with them. And so I know some of them have been English dubbed, but I think they're cool looking, and I love Bandai kits. I love building Bandai kits.
Why?
They're pre-colored. They're easy to assemble. The fit on them is absolutely perfect. I've not found a Bandai I have built probably well over 100 Bandai kits, including all the different Gundams. And I've not found a bad fitting Bandai kit yet. Every single one of them has been spot on. And that includes their old cars, because they have a classic series of cars that they did. I think there's like seven cars in the series. They're all 1/16 scale, so they're good sized cars. I've built one of those. I've got two more in my stash to build yet. the regular action figures that they've done. I've built some of those. Of course, a lot of Gundams. I'm building the Chick-U right now.
So what action figures have you done? You're talking about like the Mandalorian, right? The Star Wars stuff.
I've done a lot of the Star Wars action figures. And then there was another anime series. I'm trying to remember the name of them now. The name escapes me, but it's another anime series from Japan, and I've done a couple of those action figures.
No, I mean, like, and I haven't really done any of the Star Wars stuff yet. I want to do the Razor Crest. I'm not gonna lie, that's gonna be on the, and that I might go get that for your group build too. But like, it seems like you can even paint them and they work really, really well. You just got to figure out how they go together after you paint them. That's the challenging part, I think.
You got to be careful not to get the paint into the joints. You know, as long as you don't get the paint into the joints, you're good.
Now, are you talking about like the little rubber gaskets, the stuff that go inside of one another, or are you talking about in between?
Yeah, the little rubber gaskets.
Okay.
As long as you don't get the paint in those, you're good.
No, I really enjoy it. Like, I'm stuck on a build and I'll pull a Gundam out because I know I can build that, get kind of like read, and then back onto that.
Right.
That's what I use Gundams for.
Yeah.
But what's the coolest Gundam you've put together?
Probably the PG red frame. I thought that was really cool because I had a lighting kit for it too. And he was over a foot tall when it was done. And like I said, I had a lighting kit in it where his eyes lit up, a lot of his in between pieces of the armor lit up on his chest and his legs and his arms. So that one was really cool.
No, that's really, really cool. Have you done some of the like the $400 ones?
No. I'm not that rich.
Okay, well that eliminates that question. Because I look at some of those and I'm like, well, for $400, you would think it's, like 3 feet tall, but it's not. It's like it's still like under a foot and a half, really.
Right. So I did see one kit on eBay one time that was like 4 or 5 foot tall when you put it together, and they wanted, about $4,000 for it. I think it was something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, no, thank you.
Well, they and now they have those ones that like you could put in like your front yard. It's big enough. It's like but I guess those are only in like Japan, and you have to special order those or something. I
haven't seen those.
I don't know. I don't know the whole story.
I haven't seen those yet. That'd be kind of cool. I'd put one out in my front yard.
Yeah, right. Well, I have a homeowners association, so it would go up for like a week and then it'd have to come back down. But what makes it a $400 kit? I don't know the answer to that. I've never put one together.
Bandai kits, I don't want to say they're all expensive, but they're going to run a little bit more than what your normal car kit would. And I would have to say that it's probably because of the fact that they're manufactured so outrageously good. Like I was saying earlier, their fit is perfect. It is spot on. you won't find a better model for the pieces actually fitting together, the instructions making sense. I mean, they're a really, really fun build.
And this is just a untested. They build one of the big kits I've seen at the hobby shop here in town or up by me, and I think it's like $500, but it has all the articulation in some of the joints. They're all put like it.
Oh, I built one that the toes would even articulate. You could move the toes on it as well as the ball of the foot, the ankle, and then coming up the knee, and then all the different finger joints all moved.
Oh,
I mean,
wow. That's super cool.
Yeah, you can really, and when you're cutting those out on the sprue, it's amazing that these things are made like I wish I had one to show you, but I don't. But the hand is actually all on one sprue. And when you cut it out, as long as you're careful, you cut it out, all the articulation is already done.
Yeah.
So it's all molded like that. How they do that, I have no idea.
That's why it costs $400. Right?
Yeah.
So talk about your group build for a minute.
Which one?
Okay. I only know of one.
I'm doing two. I'm a co-host with Munchkin Modeling Man 72, Daniel, on the Bandai group build. And then Colonel Reb and I, later in the year, we do the deformed cartoon group build.
Oh, okay. So you only have one currently going right now. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So and that's the Bandai one, right?
That's correct. Yep. Anything Bandai is eligible for the group build. In fact, I was just before we got on, I was watching Matt at ESU Warrior, and he put up a quick video. He was just coming out of a Hobby Lobby, and he picked up a Boba Fett Bandai kit that he's going to build, and he had his daughter with him, and she picked up a little Pikachu Bandai kit, and she's going to build that as part of the group build. So I thought that was really cool.
That's awesome. And that's the cool thing about your group build is it's not for like 30 to 80, right? It's more like 6 to 80.
Yeah, anybody can join because Bandai has got such a wide range of kits.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons I try to participate in that one for sure, because you can do so many things.
Right.
But the question I had was, how is that boat building? Because you were showing it the other night.
It's actually, I'm just about done with it.
Oh yeah. Oh, whoa. Here we go. That's so cool.
So that's the Chick-U. It's a deep sea drilling vessel. And I've got the drilling tower right here. So really all I got to do is put this in the center of it, put the decals on it, and got to put the props on the bottom yet. And then this one will be done. But I've really enjoyed this one. I was really looking forward to building it. And it did not let me down. It was very cool.
So now are you gonna like paint it, or is that how you're gonna leave it?
No, I'll probably leave it because I did some research looking at photos of the real one. And they actually did a very, very good job with molding it in color. So, I mean, everything that's Everything that's green on here is green on the real ship. Everything that's white is white on the real ship.
Oh, okay.
So they did a very, very good job with molding it in color. So I'm probably just going to leave it.
No, I mean it looks totally awesome just that way. I was just curious if you were going to paint it or not.
No, this one I'll probably leave alone.
So to do something like that in Bandai, what are the biggest tools that you really need or don't need?
The biggest, I use pretty much just two tools with these. A hobby knife and a good pair of clippers.
Okay, so what's a good pair of clippers? Because you do Gundams.
I use, boy, is Rambler 69 in the chat, Tom? If he is, he can tell what because I bought the same ones that he uses. He recommended them. And I think they're by Tamiya, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, and it's really crazy just on some of the clippers, right? How if you go cheap on those, they're really horrible to cut stuff away.
Yeah.
But like the God hands, right? Those things are like $20-$30, I think.
Yeah, they can get kind of expensive.
And I've never used a pair because I'm mostly scared to spend that much money on a pair that might break.
Right.
I mean, I have the Citadel ones that come out of the starter box, and those work okay. They're not great, but they're okay.
So yeah, these I believe they're where are they? Yeah, they're Tamiya. They're Tamiya Cutters. But they've got a very, very sharp edge on them. And they cut very cleanly.
Yeah. I've heard that about those. They're really, and those are $20, $15-$20, something like that, I think, right? At least here they're
yeah,
I
think I paid about $20 for them on Amazon.
It's still not bad. I mean, compared to some of the tools that we buy, right?
Right.
So if you were gonna paint that ship, what is the paints that you use?
I use Tamiya Paints almost exclusively now. I love Tamiya Paints. I follow Fred Henry's recipe, to sort of speak, for thinning them, and they work great through the airbrush. I can brush paint with them, so I really enjoy Tamiya Paints.
No, I mean they're not bad. It's just it seems like there's like Mr. Color now. It seems to be real popular with the Gundam guys. Zero Paint.
Humbrol is another one that seems to be popular. I haven't tried either one of those.
Yeah, I barely, like, I've been doing the army painters, like miniature paints, right?
Right.
And then before that, it was all the craft acrylic stuff because, you know, I didn't really want to spend a whole lot of money paint.
Right.
So what's your favorite color out of the Tamiya?
Oh, man. I've been using a lot of browns lately because I'm doing a lot of aircraft right now, World War II aircraft. So I've been using a lot of browns and greens doing the camouflage. So I'd have to say somewhere in the family of browns and greens. I really don't have a specific color.
No, and that's okay. You know, I mean, everybody's, you know, because I like, I'll get like a Tamiya one for like that smoke color for tinted windows.
Right.
That works great for that.
Yeah.
But that's the only one I have. The only one I have.
Oh, their clears work really nice too. Like if you're doing taillights on a car or something like that.
Yeah.
The orange and yellow or red and yellow for like turn signals and everything. Just paint it silver and then put the Tamiya clear over that. It'll almost look like that tail light is lit up. I mean, they're really cool.
That's you're not the first person that's told me that. It's crazy how just little things like that can make a difference, huh?
Yep. Yeah. In fact, Tommy, Colonel Reb, for the Bandai Group build, he's building a Gundam that he's going to be painting certain parts of his armor with the silver and then going over that with the clear blue or the clear red or the clear yellow, just to make it look more metallized, I guess you would say. So
that's a good idea.
I'm really anxious to see that. That should turn out really cool. I've seen some test spoons that he did, and they look really good.
Well, when you talk to him next time, tell him he needs to come on here, and then right?
Yeah, I may have spoke out of tune, out of school when I said I could get him talked into it. Tommy's a really busy guy, and
yeah, no,
he's busy with his family and everything. So, in fact, he just texted me just before we came on, and he says, "Hey, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to miss the show, but wife wants to go to lunch." So, but
right.
he's a pretty busy guy.
And it happens. I know at some point over this summer I'm going to be taking a couple weekends off because I want to get the heck out of this state for a little, or at least a day. So I know that's happening.
Right.
So we've talked about tools, paint. You used the Tamiya for the clears, right?
Yep.
So what other stuff do you like to build other than Bandai?
Planes mostly. I've really gotten into planes. When I first started the channel, I was doing cars, and shiny paint jobs and I don't get along too well. So we gravitated away from the cars a little bit. My grandson still built cars because when he was younger, he had a segment on my channel called Caleb's Corner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so he used to build the snap tight cars. So he was building cars, and I was getting into building the Gundams. And then he got into building Gundams. So he's still building Gundams. But yeah, mostly planes right now. And I still like doing dioramas. I love doing dioramas.
What about that do you like?
What about dioramas?
Yeah, that you like about that? Just
I like being able to tell a story by looking at a build.
Okay.
So I guess that's about the easiest way to explain it. If you looked at it, you could see the story that I was trying to get across.
Mm-hmm.
So like I took there's an old model out. I can't remember if it's a Tom Daniels model or not, but it's called the Landshark.
Yeah, I think that is. Yeah,
one of those custom cars.
Mm-hmm.
And I beat the heck out of that thing. I mean, I rusted it all up, and I think I only had in fact, I didn't have any wheels on it. The wheels were stacked off to the side, but I rusted it all up and used toilet paper with white glue and water mixture and made like a tarp to go over the engine. painted it blue, draped it over the engine so you couldn't see the engine. But it was the storyline behind it was some rich guy had bought it and then stuck it off in his backyard and just let it rot, basically. So this whole car is just all rusted out and rotted, and so
No, it's cool how just the paint job can change a diorama, even from the ground up, right?
oh, absolutely. And the different things that you can use in dioramas, like on that one, I've got the car sitting up on blocks. Looks like cinder blocks. Those cinder blocks are actually sugar cubes.
There you go.
I hollowed out the sugar cubes, painted them gray, and that was my cinder blocks for the car to sit on.
I would have never thought about that, but that would work. Yeah, that's awesome.
And it looked like it was right in scale and everything, so it turned out good.
No, that like poof. Yeah, no, I like doing stuff like that too, and I don't put a lot of it up on the channel. I probably should, because the first one I'm actually going to put on the channel is that big Warlord Titan that I'm reprinting out. That's going to be a whole like diorama on its own. But there's a couple I've done where like the robot's walking across something.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you try to make it. It's really cool.
That's one that I've always wanted to do. I've talked about doing it for a couple of years now, and I just hadn't gotten around to it, mainly because of the scale problem. But I've wanted to do a Gundam, kind of like Godzilla, where he's destroying Tokyo, but I wanted to do a Gundam instead of Godzilla.
Okay.
So I've had a couple of different wild ideas that I wanted to try and do, but man, it's trying to work out the scale part of it, so that what the little things look like they're in scale. Because Gundams, if they were real, they're like 30 stories tall. I mean, they're huge.
No, that would be a unique. Yeah, it'd be like Godzilla. Yeah. I could see how that would be challenging, because it just take one building out of scale to mess the whole thing up.
Right.
And the worst part is I don't think you could use railroad, because I don't think that would work.
No, I had N gauge because I was into railroading for a while, and I did N gauge, and even that was too big. Even for the bigger PG Gundams, the N scale was too big.
Oh, okay. So you do more than just modeling. I've watched your channel for a while, so I know that. And where did the name come from? Just, is that basically the whole idea, or you did want to make 3 or 4 channels?
No, I didn't want to make 3 or 4 channels. I have a hard enough time keeping up with one. But it came from when I first started. My grandson always called me Papa Dan. That was his name for me. So I went with Papa Dan's models. Well, then I got messed up with YouTube somehow or another, and I got locked out of my channel. Couldn't figure out how to fix it. I had probably 4 or 5 guys in the community all trying to help me fix it, and we just couldn't get it fixed. So I started a new channel at that point and went with Papa Dan's Models 2. And then Caleb's Corner came into it. And from there, it went to Hobby Time with Papa Dan when Caleb when they moved out, and now he's busy in high school, he's in marching band, and so he really doesn't have time to do his segment anymore. So I do a lot of different hobbies, and I wanted a name that kind of said it's not going to be just models. It's different hobbies. Because I do the diamond paintings, I do glass etching. That's something that I've just started doing, was glass etching. I'm having a lot of fun with that. Of course, the models. I make T-shirts, so I'm making the little wood tokens that some of the guys are giving out now.
So what wood tokens? I must have missed that one.
Well, this is one that I made up for my channel, and I was giving these out. I was giving these out at Acme.
Okay.
So kind of like a shop card. But it's a wooden token.
Well, that'll fit in your pocket, and you don't have to worry about breaking it. Well,
right. So, and then we're also doing them for the. This is one that we did for Tommy and I put together for the Ming Tiger group build, which was the name of the group build the first year. The second year we changed it to the deformed cartoon group build, and I don't think I've got any of those. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I do right here. So we've got 3 different. Where are they? No, I don't have the one for the. But anyways, if you built a plane, then you got a plane token. Or if you built a tank, you got a tank token. Or if you built a ship, you got a ship token.
Oh, look at that.
And that was for the Ming Tiger. And then this past year we did we changed the name of it to the Deformed Cartoon Group build. And we allowed a lot more different types of models in. You could put in like the Deals wheels. Anything that was cartoonish, that's
Kind of like the egg planes, right?
Yeah. Except we did not allow egg planes because we didn't want to step on Charlie Mac's group build of the egg plane.
Okay.
So there was no egg planes allowed, and there was no Tom Daniels kits allowed because we didn't want to step on Dirk Pitt's group build that he does, because he does the Tom Daniels group build. So other than that, it's pretty much, as long as it's cartoony, it looks like a cartoon, or it's deformed in some way, like an egg plane is deformed.
Mm-hmm.
So all the Ming kits, the Tiger kits, the little Tiger cute planes, like I said, the Deals wheels.
No, it is a cool build. There's so many group builds now. I try to keep up with. It's so hard.
It is. There's a lot of group builds out there.
No, and they're all great. That's the worst part, and you can't do them all because you want to.
Yeah, exactly. So when we came up with that one, we wanted to do something that was fun, that you could get out of your comfort zone, or just do something that you could just relax doing, and you don't have to worry about making it just right or just perfect or making sure the color was just right. It's just a fun build. And a lot of guys really took that to the 9th degree and made little dioramas with these Ming tanks and everything. And a lot of guys really did some fantastic builds. Yes, the Wacko kits would count. Yep. They would be included in the group build, definitely.
And then Fred Henry says the plaques or the koozies. You also do the koozies, right?
Yes, I've made koozies. Yep.
Yeah. And the cool thing about it is they're not like, you look at them and they're not cheap either. They're really well done.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And coffee mugs. And yeah, and I don't know who that was that skipped by there real quick, but the neon signs. Yeah, the neon signs. That's another fun one that I like to do. Those are really cool.
Just how challenging is that to do the neon signs? Is it something you could just do tomorrow and be okay with it, or is it you actually got to learn quite a bit?
The hardest thing with the neon signs is to get an image, because I make them on the Cricut, and the Cricut actually inscribes the plastic. So it has to be, I guess the best way to describe it is like a coloring book type image.
Okay.
That's simple,
yeah,
but yet it has enough detail to where it looks good.
Okay.
So, and as long as the Cricut can do it, then I can put it on a neon sign. And that was with the neon signs. I think I sold probably 75 or 80 of those all around the community and the RC community, because they started getting into them. But they, the number one question that kept coming up was, can you put a photograph on them? And that was one thing that I could not do, was put a photograph on them. But now with the coffee mugs that I'm making, I can now put photographs on coffee mugs, or I can put photographs on t-shirts. I can do that.
Yeah, the t-shirt ones, they're definitely, there's a whole mechanism to that. Like, I mean, there's a good cost on top of that one. I've kind of researched that one a little bit, because you got to have that it's like a silk screen, right?
Well, if you're going to silk screen them, yes. I don't silk screen them. I do what's called infusible ink.
Oh, okay.
And I do it with a heat press.
Mm-hmm.
I make the t-shirts that way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. That's awesome.
And I couldn't tell you how many times I've watched this, and it still looks like it did the first time I made it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it seemed those would probably be a little more durable. I could see that. So out of all your builds that you've done, I have my favorite out of yours. What's your favorite?
Out of all the builds I've done, I can narrow it down to 3 real quick.
Okay.
But narrowing it down to 1 would be tough.
You go with the 3. I'm good with 3. I'm good with 3.
The Titanic sinking.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah.
I really like that one. I like the way that came out. The barn find diorama that I did from my brother's picture. My brother found an old, I think it was a Ford pickup truck that was sticking out of this barn, and it was all rusted up and everything. It had weeds all over it. And I took that picture and turned it into a diorama. I mean, I built the whole barn, even though I could only see the front in the picture. But just going off of the front, I built the whole barn and had the truck in there, had the weeds coming all over the front of it and everything. I'm really proud of that one. And the other one is either the Arizona, the Arizona now with the Arizona Memorial over the top of it, or the Blue Angels diorama that I did for the Chris Cortell appreciation build. I thought that one came out really nice.
Was that that you're talking about, the one that coming out of the clouds, right?
Yeah, where they're going up into their, I think they call it the star formation or something, where they're coming up like this,
and it's out of a picture frame, right? That's my favorite build of yours.
No, that's another one. That's another one. That's got two jets in it. The Blue Angels has all six Blue Angel planes, and they're egg planes.
Yeah. That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah. Because it looks like they're just coming right out of the picture. That's what I like about that one.
Okay, yeah.
And
then I'll be doing something. So I did not last year's egg plane build, but the year before that, I did another one like that with the space shuttle, the egg plane space shuttle, and I had it where it was coming out of the picture frame, and it had a picture of Earth in the background, and then space all around the Earth and everything. So it looked like it was floating in space. And I've got something else up my sleeve for this year's egg plane. That's awesome. That's going to be similar.
No, oh man, what the heck? We'll take care of that one real quick. Yeah, I got it. People, people. That's all I'm gonna say. People. No, and the cool thing about some of those, that like the egg plane one that's out of the clouds, right?
Right.
It's really complex, but it's really simple to do. At least it looks like it, right? So it works really, really awesome.
Yeah.
And it's not something that you put on the wall and everybody's going to enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not
right.
Everybody's going to think that's cool. And I always thought that one was really, really well done.
You just got to be careful where on the wall you put it, because with the planes coming out of the picture frame, if somebody walks by too close to it, it's going to knock them off. But
and I don't know, like, I think you advertised it on your channel, but the Gundam coming out the mirror, that was a really cool one. I don't think that was yours though, right?
No, that wasn't mine.
But I think
I can see where that would be kind of cool.
Like that was, yeah. And that's the cool thing about a lot of those Gundam stuff is, you can do whatever. Because I've seen dioramas where like two of them are fighting and one gets thrown into the train yard. Right. I've seen that. And that's the cool thing about this hobby is you can even mix the Gundams with the cars and
right. Yep. Yeah, you can do all kinds of things. That's why I like doing dioramas, because you can do anything with it, and it's fun scratch building a lot of stuff.
Do you do a lot of that?
Scratch building scenery and like maybe buildings, things like that I can do. When it comes to scratch building on cars or planes, no. That's beyond my scope. I mean, when you start scratch building little tiny distributor caps and oil filters and putting CB radios in dashboards or under dashboards in cars and that kind of stuff, no, that's beyond me. I've put wires on motors before, but that's about it.
No, I mean it, and it's really cool how just little stuff like that can make a difference, huh?
Oh yeah.
Even if you're not good at it, I mean, you can still
The detail really, I mean, the detail makes everything jump out.
No, yeah. So I want to talk about the art side of it for a second, right?
Okay.
Your paintings.
The diamond paintings.
So they're just like, explain that process, because it's just basically dot painting, right? Is that how I understand that?
Kind of, yes. The pictures, if you want to give me just a second, I can grab one that's right in the other room here.
You're good. Go ahead.
I'll be right back.
Yes, Fred. I eliminated. Yes. That one snuck in. I wasn't paying attention there for a second.
Okay, this would be one of the diamond paintings. And if I can get it close enough to the camera here so you can see it, you can kind of see how it's in a grid.
Yeah.
And each one of the squares has got a different symbol in it. The symbol is over here, and then that corresponds you get all these, they're like little rhinestones, but they call them drills or they call them diamonds. That's where diamond painting comes from. And each one of them is like a different color. So you got different shades of red, different shades of blue and yellows and all that stuff. But these are like really, really, well, where's my camera? There it is. They're like really tiny, if you can see compared to my finger there. And you've got a tool that you use to pick these up with, and then you place them on the picture. The pictures are covered with an adhesive that these will stick to.
Okay.
So it's something that's to me, it's very relaxing. Because there's really no thinking involved in it. All the thinking is done for you. Because all you have to do is just follow the grid that's on the picture.
Oh, okay. No, that's odd. I mean, and where did you first find those? Because that's unique. You're the first person I had to look it up as soon as I saw that you were doing that. I was like, that's really interesting.
Oh, there's tons of videos on YouTube about it. You can buy the kits online, Amazon or eBay. And Michael's and Joann's carries them in the stores. In fact, Joann's even carries blank canvases they've got the grid design on them, but there's no picture on them. It's just blank. And then you make up your own picture. You can buy individual bottles of the diamonds, and you can make up your own picture.
Or, set your own picture on there, right?
Yeah, there's a couple of websites out there to where you can send your photograph in. Like if I wanted to do one of my grandson holding his little baby brother now, and I had a photograph of it, I could send that photograph off to this website, and they will convert it into a diamond painting.
Oh, that's cool.
And then they'll send me all the diamonds that I need for it, all the drills, and it'll be just like buying one of these kits, except it's my personal photograph.
No, I mean that's really cool. I can see the total of fun in that one, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like I said, it's very relaxing. I've gotten into it so much, they're hanging all over my house now. I must have done probably 12, 15 of them all together now.
Oh, nice. Nice. That's really, really awesome.
In fact, I'll let everybody know that on my last video, I asked everybody to vote for which diamond painting I was doing next. And I'll let everybody know that today I'll be starting the Twin Towers. That won the vote.
I put him, but just with what's going on in the world, that one just seemed like a no-brainer to me to pick that one.
Yeah, most of the people did. It was either that one. The second place one was Grandpa's Yard with the 3 generations working on the cars.
Yeah.
And then it was either tied with Grandpa's Yard or just a couple behind it was Mel's Diner, the American Graffiti type picture.
Oh, yeah. That one's going to be fun because it's got all them different
all the different cars and everything. Yeah, that's going to be a fun one to do.
So what other art stuff do you like to do that maybe is not on your channel?
Really nothing, because I've put just about everything on my channel. I've even showed on my channel doing the work on my house. when I was remodeling my house and doing the work on the outside of the house, and I built a screened in porch. So I put all that stuff up on my channel.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say, for someone that was following along with all that, if you were doing that all by yourself, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, the only time I had help was my buddy Mark across the street. He came over and he helped me put the roof on the porch.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't quite get the roof up there myself, so he came over and he helped me with that. But everything else I did myself.
So before you retired, what'd you do for work?
I worked for Toys R Us for 30 years.
Toys R Us. How was it like working there?
Crazy. Absolutely. Especially between Thanksgiving and January, the end of January. It was absolutely nuts. It was craziness. We were just running around with our hair, pulling our hair out. It was crazy. The rest of the year, it was fine. It was fun. But you couldn't complain about the days being too long. They were long days. We worked 12, 13, 14-hour days during the Christmas season, but they went by that fast because you were so busy.
Oh, nice. That's always a plus.
The last 5 years that I was with them, I was in charge of the overnight crew, and we did what we called ship from store. That's where we took the internet orders that were coming in, and we would go around and pick the orders, get stuff off of the shelves, pack it up, load up a mail truck, and ship it out the next morning. And we would do, in our peak, probably 12 to 1,500 orders a night.
Oh, wow.
It was busy.
That's crazy. So is that why you have so many different hobbies, right? Is that for the stress level sometimes of that job?
Yeah, that, and the fact that my wife passed away. My daughter and her son she's now gotten married, and they've moved out into their own house. So I've got the house to myself. I'm retired. So just keep myself busy so I'm not just vegetating in front of the TV all the time.
Yeah, I understand that one.
I still watch my share of TV, but this gives me something else to do too.
No, and that's awesome. What working at Toys R Us helped you in the hobby? Other than buying more kits.
Yeah, because we did sell models for a while I was there.
And Tyco and trains and
Yep. But just knowing the different toy brands. I mean, my nieces and nephews all called me Uncle Dan the Toy Man. Whenever they wanted something that they couldn't find, they'd be on the phone calling me saying, "Hey, can you help me find this?"
Oh, that's cool.
So I was usually able to come up with it, whether it was a Cabbage Patch doll during the Cabbage Patch craze, or what was another, Furbies.
Oh.
When Furbies were going absolutely crazy and you couldn't find a Furby in the store to save your soul. But I could usually come up with one or two of them for them.
Nice. I can see how that could be beneficial. So we're just about in an hour. I remember the Power Rangers.
Yeah, Power Rangers were another big one. And Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles were crazy. I got stabbed in the back putting out Ninja Turtles one time because this lady just went nuts. It was 2 days after Thanksgiving, I think it was. It was like a Cyber Monday or something. We had just gotten a shipment of them in, and we were putting them up on the shelf just as quick as we could put them up on the shelf. And this lady just come up from behind me, grabbed me on my shoulder, and just literally threw me out of the way. And I went up against a bunch of pegs that were coming out of the shelf.
Oh.
And one of them stabbed me in the back of the shoulder. So people went nuts over this stuff.
I'm not gonna lie. The Ninja Turtle stuff was cool when I was growing up. Yeah, not gonna lie. Those were, yeah.
And I collected the Star Trek figures too that we had for a while. The Playmate Star Trek figures. I collected those.
Oh yeah, because Toys R Us had the no, that's cool. There was all kinds of exclusives that Toys R Us got because they were the
place to buy your toys.
And then it seemed like early 2000s something shifted, or at least that was my thing. It seems like something shifted, and then Toys R Us stopped getting so much. I don't know what happened.
What happened was they shifted their thinking. Toys R Us, if you remember, like when I was growing up and everything, you walked into a Toys R Us store and it was just toys everywhere. I mean, all the way up to the ceiling, it was toys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they shifted their thinking to where they lessened their inventory levels, trying to save money. And at the same time, the internet was kicking in, where people were buying more stuff off of the internet, Amazon specifically. And so that hurt because Toys R Us was very slow in reacting to that. They were very slow to reacting with the internet craze and taking orders over the internet. When they finally got into it, it was too late. The nails were already in the coffin, so to speak.
So since you were a Toys R Us employee, there's always that talk about Toys R Us coming back. Do you think it will come back?
No.
No?
No. Not the way they used to be. Not the Toys R Us that everybody remembers. What they're trying to do right now, a couple of the guys, it was basically owned by 5 guys in this
Mhm.
corporation. 2 of them bought the rights to the name Toys R Us, the logos, Jeffrey the Giraffe. They bought those rights from the bankruptcy court. And they're the ones that are trying to bring it back. But what they're doing is they're renting space in an existing store.
Oh.
And they're like Kroger's grocery store. And they're renting out 2 aisles in a Kroger's grocery store, and they're calling it Jeffrey's Toy Box, where they've got all the exclusive Toys R Us stuff in there.
Okay.
So, but to come back the way it used to be, a freestanding store, I don't think you'll ever see it again.
No, I that would be cool just on just that alone, right?
Yeah, for me though, having been there for 30 years and having been there through the heyday of it and then watching it slowly decline, to me it just wouldn't be the same.
No, yeah. I get that. Because
I still drive by the old Toys R Us store now and just kind of look at it, and the memories start coming back, and it's almost emotional for me.
So like my first memory of those toy stores, right, is He-Man, because that's where you had to go to first to get the He-Man stuff.
Oh yeah, Castle Grayskull and
yeah.
all those guys. Yep.
Back when I had the toy box full of that stuff. Back when I was like 4, 5. Yeah.
Yeah, my son was really big into He-Man.
So we've been just about an hour. Did you have any questions for me?
Pretty much the same thing that everybody has asked you at the end of these interviews, and that was 3D printing.
Okay.
That is something that I am really, really looking into doing. I really want to get into the 3D printing, but I'm not. The only thing that I'm dragging my feet on is that I'm not a computer guy. I can point and click on the computer, but that's about it. So as far as troubleshooting on a computer and things like that, I'm not that great at. I usually end up calling my son or my daughter. Say, hey, my email's not working. It's broken.
So I'm not gonna say that you're not gonna have a hard time, because you are. If you struggle with that stuff, the learning curve's gonna be a lot more for you.
Okay.
Not impossible, but the learning curve's gonna be a lot more. So channels that you want to check out: 3D Printing Nerd, and you can write these down when we get done here.
Yeah. Okay.
Uncle Jesse's, I'll have to look it up when we're done. But Uncle Jesse, he's a big 3D printing channel that's like really popular. It's Nuri. He used to be in New York, but now he's in like New Mexico or something like that. He does 3D printing. And then there's Muse's Market. And I have all 4 of these channels. And there's a bunch of tutorials online.
I'm just reading Hobby Barn's comment here. He's quoting the Toys R Us jingle. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. That's funny.
Fred's not wrong, probably, with this statement. As long as you have access to an IT, intelligent teenager, you can do it. I mean, he's not wrong, right? He's not wrong. But At least you can go on there, because there's some of those channels that have how they do the settings and stuff, right? On some of them. Now, here's the thing that I'm going to ask you. Resin is really, really messy, right?
Okay.
But you're going to get better results, right?
Right. I've been told that. Yep.
Okay. Or you could do the PLA, which is what I do mostly. As soon as it warms up, I'm going to try to get the resin printer to work again, but we'll see. I'm still trying to learn that one as we go. But now the PLA side of it, I can help you with whatever you need. But it's basically like hot glue on a CNC axis is kind of how to explain it. It's just basically like, I mean, you can see it right there.
Yep. Yep.
That's the printer. It basically prints out stuff like this.
Okay. Very cool.
I mean, I broke this one tearing the supports off, but I can still get this to work because modeling skills, right? But I mean, these are the feet for that robot that I broke a couple weeks ago online on one of the episodes. I mean, that's one of the toes, right?
Okay.
And it's basically just getting in there and learning the software. And there's stuff online. You just got to look up Cura. I'm going to be trying another slicer program for the PLA stuff to see how it works. But Cura, I get to work fairly well on my iMac.
Okay.
What specific questions do you have? Because I know there's going to be some coming.
Well, what I'm interested in doing is I love the miniatures, like the little gaming miniature, the space.
Those.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, those guys.
This
But
isn't 3D printed, but
I would like to be able to print those, but print them bigger. You know, if that makes sense.
yes.
Make like a Space Marine, but make him, instead of being that big, make a Space Marine that's like maybe 8 to 10 inches big.
So are you just wanting to do like one Space Marine?
Yeah, and then maybe one, what do they call the green guys? Orgs or something. You know, just do different figures like that, paint them up.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool to do.
No, now with figures, I will tell you this. You can get good results with the PLA stuff, right? But you're going to have a learning curve with that, because if you do them small, they won't look right. If you do them in resin, it doesn't matter how big you make them, right? Because the detail will be there. Like, hold on a second. Oh, this guy. You sit right there. So here's Batman, right?
Okay.
So this figure's big in PLA because the detail will be there, right? I can't shrink this down very much. I can, but then I'm going to lose a lot of the detail because the plastic it doesn't seem like you get more of the layer lines. Like, I mean, even on this size, you can see the layer lines in it.
Right.
And then you get the texture and the clothes on some of the files. It's not. And that's the negative with the PLA, right?
Now, with the resin, you would not get that, correct?
You still are. It's just going to be smaller. Like, once you prime it with the filler primer on the resin stuff, it's going to, all that layer line stuff goes away. Like, I would have to prime this probably 2 or 3 times in some sections because the layer lines would be there. And if I don't want them there, I got to sand them down. But like I said, the resin stuff, it is there too, but it's just not as profound.
Okay.
But there's still cleanup with that too. That's why I said, and the resin stuff, and I'm sure there's people in the chat that are going to say the same thing. There's some of them have a smell. A lot of people don't tell you that, but the stuff that I got, there's a pretty, I couldn't put that in my house. My wife and son, their asthma would kick in and they'd be toast.
I say that's where having the whole house to myself here, I can set that up in a bedroom,
yeah, and
vent it out a window, and so I wouldn't have a problem with the smell end of it.
And then you got to have the resin side. There's the cleanup process. Once you watch a couple of the videos of like Uncle Jesse, he goes through and shows you exactly how he does his cleanup process, because you need the isopropyl alcohol. You know, you got to cure them because they got to be in UV light to make the resin durable.
Okay.
And that's on the resin side of it. That's the part that I'm still kind of learning. I have the wash and cure station from Anycubic. I haven't got to use it yet because I'm actually waiting for the temperature to come up, so it's not like I'm in the 50s, 60s, and not the 20s and 30s.
Right. Right. Okay.
Yeah. See, even Fred says all his printing.
It's done in the garage.
And that's where I have to do it. But whatever temperature is out here, whatever time. Like even the PLA stuff, like you can look at the print and you can tell when the temperature in here drops overnight.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So like I said, it's super fun. Don't get me wrong, but there is a learning curve.
Okay.
I mean, the slicing stuff isn't hard once you kind of get figured out, right? Like I have the one I'm running right now is the CR10 version 2. And I love the CR10s. I've had nothing but good experiences with them. The Ender 3, those are really awesome printers. The resin side of it for me, I only have one, and it's the Anycubic Photon. It's the original, but they have like Mono X, Mono, they have, the you can have a print volume of like this, or you can have a print volume of like this.
Oh man.
Yeah, and the resin side of it, there's the price point. When they've been around for so long now, the cheaper ones are, they're the ones that they originally came out with, and then the price goes up, right?
Okay.
Just like anything like electronics, right?
Right. And whatever you buy today is going to be outdated tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, really. I mean, I've had my first CR10 and it broke this last year. So I've had it 4 or 5 years, and now they're on version 8, I think. Now is what they sell, and it's $500-$600.
Okay.
Like I said, it's awesome to learn it, but you got to dedicate some time to it. And you're gonna and here's the other thing. You're gonna fail prints because you're learning, right?
Yeah.
It's not just one of those that you put.
That's what a couple of other guys that I've talked to about it, they said, don't expect anything to be perfect. Your first 10 prints are probably going to fail.
Yeah.
They say, consider yourself lucky if you can see an improvement with each one. He said, you'll eventually get it.
Yeah. And see, you communicate with Fred. I think it's Ron Kenny May. Kenny May's been getting into the 3D printing stuff.
Kenny's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
We've talked quite a bit.
Yeah. Like I said, the 3D printing is really what you want out of it. Like the PLA stuff, I've figured out how to get good results with it. I have to upscale a bunch of it. But, Hulkbuster. Oh, come here, you. Like even these files. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, here we go. Oh, this may not work. See how the hand's all mangled?
Oh, okay. Yep.
Oh, here.
Yep, I can see it there. Yeah.
And that's just because the supports didn't quite hold it well enough. But, overall, are you really going to notice that if it's sitting on a shelf?
Right.
Right?
See, and I'm not one to make stuff to put into shows. I'm more of I make models to put up on my shelf.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same way. If it can go up on a shelf and it look halfway decent, I'm pretty much happy.
Yeah, I love going to shows, and I love being able to hang out with the other modelers that are there, like at the Acme show or JaxCon. I love going to those shows, and I love the deals that you can get there on kits and everything. So, but as far as actually entering the show and putting something that I built on the table, not so much.
Well, everybody has their experience with the shows, right? It's not. I've been to a couple here in Oregon now, and there's one group that I don't even bother taking stuff for anymore because I already know who's going to win. You know what I mean? Like,
Fred can tell you that we just had a whole big fiasco at JaxCon last month with judging and everything. That
yeah. I watched the Brian thing like last week or the week before. Yeah,
so it was crazy. It's been addressed though, so it should be better in the future going forward.
I'm glad that that's happening for you because here, nope. Unfortunately,
there's one model group, a group of guys. Now I don't know if they're still doing it or not, but they were getting together at the Hobby Lobby, just across the bridge from me in Jacksonville. And I went to a few of their meetings, but the reason I stopped going was because they found out just through me telling them that I had a YouTube channel. And all of a sudden it was like, oh, you're one of those guys.
Oh, man.
Those YouTube guys, they think they know it all. And they just went downhill from there. So I stopped going. Because they were so anti-YouTube, it wasn't even funny. And once they found out I had a YouTube channel, it was, we'd take in something that we were working on and work on it while we were talking and stuff like that. And it was like, well, you sit down at the little kids' table. You know what I mean? So that's why I quit going. And that was the only modeling group that I know of in the Orange Park, Jacksonville area.
No, yeah, it's crazy how YouTube is perceived, right?
Right.
And then you look at events like Acme and you're like, yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like,
Acme is an awesome show to go to. Absolutely awesome. I cannot stress enough that hey, Colonel, if anybody can make a show, say like that's an out of town show for them, Acme is the one to go to.
Yeah. That's one on like the bucket list. I have to get enough vacation time accumulated because some idiot thought it was good to switch jobs a couple times this last year. So yeah, at some point, yes, I'm gonna go to Acme, but it might be a couple years. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be on the bucket list.
So, because just about anybody that's everybody that is anybody, is that how the saying goes? Mm-hmm. is at Acme, and JaxCon is starting to get that way too. There's a lot of guys at JaxCon this year.
Well, and some of that, right, because of COVID, it brought all these new people to the hobby too. I've kind of noticed that even here, it's like there's way more channels, right? Like it's just a crazy time for us.
Absolutely, I agree.
So, did you have any other questions for me?
Nope, I can't think of anything. I think we covered just about everything.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this, it's really great to get you on here and getting to chat with you a little bit. It's going to be exciting to see what you do with StreamYard going forward. Now you've kind of used it a little bit. I'm sure now instead of watching, you're going to jump on with Brian and them, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely jump on there.
Yeah, because that's a unique group, to say the least. Because
the other night when Charlie and Fred got on there together, that was hilarious. The two of them were hilarious.
And then Jeff's in the chat poking the bear.
Right.
Right. But anyway, thank you for coming on. I'm glad we were able to kind of make this work.
Well, thank you for having me. I much appreciate it.
And
I'm honored that you asked.
Yeah. No problem. And I will. Yeah, thank you for coming on, and I will talk to you in a couple minutes. I'm going to do the closing, and then we'll talk.
Okay, great.
All right.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Bye.
See everybody later.
All right, everybody. So, like I was saying at the beginning of the show, this flag up here in the top right corner, up here, is going to be in the show, showing my support for the Ukraine. It's going to be there for a while, I would assume. Hopefully something changes over there, but that's me showing my support for them. Hopefully everybody liked the episode with Papa Dan. I know I definitely learned a couple things today. But next week, Jamie Garvin's going to be on the show. I will let you guys go. Have a nice week, and I'll see you next weekend. All right? Bye. Oh, better in the broadcast. That'd be silly.